Hi, this is Todd Profit with Stage Directions Magazine, and this is a brief tutorial on how to create a site using Wix.com. It's a great site that can be used for theater designers and technicians in order to create or build an online portfolio. Wix is a site I've been using for a while. I also teach a class in digital tools, and this Wix seems to be one of the most popular sites with my students. They really like sort of its ease of use, and I'll say it's fairly easy to use. There are some there's some things that aren't quite obvious, but hopefully this tutorial will help. First thing you're going to do is go to Wix.com and sign up for a free account. Once you get there, you're going to see this button here that's going to say create a new site, or it's probably going to walk you through a tutorial. I'm currently in the process of creating a new site. As you can see, this is a picture of my old site, but it's got this little thing right here that says Flash, and Flash is not what I want to use currently for my site. It's because it doesn't show up on a lot of mobile devices. It doesn't show up on iPads. It doesn't show up on Android devices that don't have Flash, and it's starting not to show up on certain web browsers, in particular Safari. So if you're a Mac person or an Apple person, it's not going to show up on the site, and I want my site to be seen by as many people as possible. All right, let's jump right into this, into how we're going to do this. The first thing you're going to do is they're actually going to have a whole bunch of different templates you can look at or create from. There's a ton over here on the side. You don't want to look like right now. I chose design, and there's actually one for portfolio. So I was going through some of the ones that they had for portfolio. But don't just limit yourself to that. Just because it says it's for something else doesn't mean you can't use it. You want to try it. You want to look at a bunch of them and try to figure one out. And also, don't, you might start a site, but don't get too involved with it, because see if you like it. And if you don't like it, then you haven't invested a lot of time and a lot of energy. So feel free to use these. The only problem is once you start working on a site, there's no way to transfer that information that you've created over to another template or another layout, okay, per se. So let's just go through some different areas. Like there is entertainment, event production might be similar to what we're looking for, or possibly even performing arts. But they've got just a ton of different sites, and if you like one, you can just hit view real quick, and it'll open it up in a new tab. The thing I always like to do, the first thing I check is how do they present their photos? Is this the way I want to present my photos? And in this case, it's just one big gallery of photos and doesn't really separate out. So it's probably not one I'm going to look for. But let me just close that out. And like I said, there's a whole bunch of them under design. There are some great ones under design. Click on portfolio, and I think maybe it was the first or the second page is the one that I found that I liked. They actually had one for lighting design, so I have to say I did want to try that one. So then I would sit here and I would click edit, and then that would create or open up the editor and would let me kind of play around a little bit. Now just remember one thing. You can play around with it, but there's one thing you've got to hit if you like it a lot, and that is save. Make sure you hit save. I was playing around a minute ago and tried to go back to the site and realized I hadn't saved yet. And it's a good thing I hadn't closed anything down yet. So make sure you hit save. So once you get, this is the basic Wix editor. Over here, these are where you're going to navigate and where you're going to change the things you want to change. The first is pages. The pages will bring you to, so if I want to go back, I was just editing the portfolio page. Here's the home page. I've gone in, and actually they had, if you'll notice, they had like a picture of the lighting designer and a little quote with some photos behind. Me personally, I wanted to go with more of just the single picture, so that's why I went ahead and I deleted what they had on there. If I wanted to add something to this page, it's really easy. Just go here and I could add, if I want to, I could add a new image. Okay, and I could choose a new image to put on this home page. Now, these are all images that I have uploaded. When I did my previous site, that's one of the things I will say that I do like, is I don't have to re-upload these images. I can just grab them and put them back on, or I can click upload and upload a new image, which is pretty easy to do. But if I want to choose that image, I can just add that image in. It'll take just a second. Okay, and I can grab the corner. I can resize it. go. Let's say if I wanted to put it on here as well. Now I really don't, so I'm going to go ahead and just delete that for now. What kinds of pages do you want in here? Typically, I like a nice home page, a nice page. It just sort of sets the tone for what the whole piece is going to be. It's that cover page in your portfolio. The next page is the About page. The About page is, I like to call it, it's a combination between a cover letter and a bio. Okay, it's going to talk about, you know, sort of who you are, what you are, hit some of the highlights. Don't, and I think mine isn't the best example of this, is because mine says a lot about sort of what. It repeats some of the stuff in my resume, which I don't think is a great idea. But again, make it sort of a combination of cover letter / who you are. A picture of yourself. Some people, I've debated about this for years. For me, I didn't put a picture of myself on there for the longest time. But after talking with my students, the thing they said is it puts a face to the name, and I kind of like that. I think that is something we want to do. I mean, let's face it, you're going to probably remember the face, or at least I do. I'll remember a face quicker than I'll actually remember a name. So putting your a quick photo of yourself isn't bad. Get a good photo. I'm lucky. My sister-in-law is a photographer. She snapped this right before her sister's wedding. But definitely get it done. Make sure it looks really, really nice. I don't recommend the selfie with your phone in here. Make sure it looks nice. Okay, so that's the About page. Let's go and switch over to, and I've still got to work on my contact page. I haven't had a chance to get that yet. These are the image. I'm sitting here pointing with my finger. These are the images that came with it. They're really easy to change. If you just click on it, organize images, it's going to say, hey, what images do you want to use? And in this case, we'll just grab, you know, a couple real quick. Let's grab this one, and let's see. Ooh, this one. And I want to hold the command button down just so it selects both items, and hit add images, and boom, there they are. I'm going to go ahead and take their titles out, though, so they don't show up on the page. Okay. And then for the contact information, you would just go in and hit your settings, and you would tell it where you want it to send everything in. It looks like it's already figured out what email address it wants. It's probably from my old site. Okay. Last thing I want to show you is just adding a page to a portfolio. I think it was called Projects. I already changed the name to Portfolio. You can do that right here. You just hit Settings. You change the name to Portfolio. I also like to change the page address here so that it says, so it also says Portfolio. As far as other SEO stuff, I typically don't. It's SEO is search engine optimization, and I really don't think that's something we need to worry too much about as designers and technicians. People aren't going to search Google to find our website. We're going to send out our website, or someone else is going to send out our website, or potentially it's probably going to be on a resume. So it's not something I think we really need to worry about. All right, so I can change that. I'm going to hit done. I'm going to close that just so I can see. Now, again, it's really easy to go in and I can hit add. In my case, what I've decided to do is I wanted to add a gallery. A gallery is a collection of photos. I was having some trouble with this, and let me just show you how to create one here real quick. And the one I'm actually doing is a grid. Okay, and you can see I'd set up the default to be circles, and right now it's showing up. So it's going to put a basic grid in there for me. Now, obviously, this is not what I want. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to organize the images. It's going to ask me to add the images. Well, I messed something up. Hold on. Let me just delete that and start again. Add gallery, grid, and organize images. And I want to add images. There we go. Now, this show is going to be Romeo and Juliet. So let me just say I want this one. And again, I'm going to hold the command button down so it selects multiple ones. If you hold shift down, it'll select them all in a row. And let's stop there. Let's add one more. So I'm going to add those images. Okay. And then what I would do is I would go in and I actually want to type in the name here, and in description I like to put all of my colleagues that have worked with me on this production. It does two things. It shows who you worked with in case somebody who's looking through the portfolio might know them, and also it just gives credit to your colleagues. But that's where you would add, like I usually put the show name here, and then I put a list of who I worked with on the production. Okay, so I've added those pictures. Again, it's not quite the way that it needs to be, so I'm going to right click again. I'm going to go to settings. Okay, and all I've done is I've taken this and I've made it one row and one column. Okay, the other thing that you're going to want to do is this is not on there by default. When image is clicked, it's going to say do nothing. But what I really want to do is enter an expand mode so that it actually expands them out. Okay. Now, in my case, for some reason I made these too small, so I'm going to go in and I'm just going to resize it to about the same size. That looks pretty good. And obviously I'm going to want to take this one and move it over a little bit. All right. The thing I do like about Wix is it does add in these guides, so it can help center things and make things look good. So now I can click on preview, and I like to hit preview a lot. So first thing I look at is, all right, I need to fix the space between there and there. And then, all right, so when you click on it, this is what it's going to look like. All right. And someone can actually click through your gallery. And that's what the About page looks like. And the home page. And clients was something that was already on there. This is where I'm actually going to go in and I'm going to put a resume up. I'm going to upload a resume. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture. I'm going to take a PDF and turn it into a JPEG to put it on there, and then put links to download my resume. And I actually created another video that will show you how to do that. Just a couple of other quick things before we go. One of the things that you'll notice is that each of the pages actually have a header and a footer. So no matter what page you go to, you're going to have the same header. All you have to do to edit is click on it, and then you can change and put whatever text in you want. If you want to actually change the text itself, you can double click it, you can highlight it, and it gives you a full text editor here to change it. And that's true for any text that you incorporate. Now this template actually has a little logo that you can change. I'm going to leave this here for now. It's just a little piece of clip art. I'm working on designing a new logo for myself anyway, so eventually I'll probably replace that there. Something else you'll have in the header is different links to the pages you have. You can actually go in and manage the pages themselves. And again, that was over here on this page button. But if I want to click over to, like I said earlier, I wanted to change the client's page to something else, I can actually go down there, click on clients, hit settings, and this is where I would change it to. And then the page address. You can make the page address anything you want. It just means when it shows up in the address bar, it'll say resume. Before we forget, one of the things you want to do is, again, you want to save often, okay? And then once you get your site ready to go, you're going to hit the publish button. The publish button will go ahead and bring it online. And if you want to, you can also upgrade to some of the more premium services. You get more space, and you don't get the little Wix ad at the bottom, which is this right here. That goes away when you pay for it. And all right, that's my just brief tutorial, about a 15-minute tutorial of Wix.com. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. My email address is todd.profit@gmail.com. As you can tell, I actually have that down here on my footer as well, which is just like the header. All right, thank you so much.